Starting off, as of today, it's official. The greatest quarterback of all time has officially retired. Tom Brady announced his retirement exactly a year after he originally announced it. But
Yeah.
I think this one's for real. I think this one's for real. I think the emotional toll of his family falling apart has really made him like, okay, this is
Yeah.
done. I can't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's done. Um, According to a lot of analysts that have come out and people close to him, towards the end, was he considering other offers? Of course, like other offers looked good. Like I'm sure the 49ers looked really good. He was probably looking at that game, being like, with that roster, I would have won. But
Want to want
according
to
to
want to know
sources,
want to know what looks better though?
yeah,
$375 million to talk about football.
yeah. So yeah, but he's just such a competitor. But towards the end, apparently it was either Tampa Bay or retirement. He wasn't really like even considering. He didn't want to move his family, nor did he want to be away from his kids for a whole NFL season. Like, so it was either move his family or be away from his kids for a whole NFL season. And he didn't like either option, so he decided that was one of the biggest reasons he decided to just call it a career.
Yeah, no, I think that one, I'm happy that I decided to go to the Browns Bucks game this year. It was probably the best Browns game of the year as well. But I got to officially see Tom Brady before he retired. That's one thing I want to do. I want to see LeBron James before he retires. I want to see Steph Curry before he retires. That is a goal of
Better hop
mine,
on that, man. He's about to score the all-time
dude.
leading scorer. As soon as his son, he plays one game with his son, he's gonna be like, "All right, I'm
Yeah,
done."
that's so. I have that. Me personally, that's what I'm waiting for. Is I want to go to a game where it's him and his son. Like I told Andrew, my brother, I told my dad. I'm like, dude, I'm going. The only game basketball game I want to go to is a Steph Curry, or like if he's Indian, I guess it'd be Indianapolis. But like if we go to an Indiana Pacers game where it's
Yeah.
where it's LeBron and his son. That's the only game that I really want to go to. So I'm gonna wait till that happens. But so I got one of my bucket list items done. I saw Tom Brady play. Um, yeah, it was amazing. That stadium was electric. It was electric. And we asked. I asked Browns fans at the game, like, "Hey, why did you come to today's game?" They said, "Well, it's Tom Brady." Like,
Yeah.
Tom Brady is one of the biggest draws in NFL history to go to a game. So seriously, for me, it was an honor. Not only
Well, the
to
last 2 or 3 years, this could be his last season.
yep,
I think this season more than like any of the last seasons, I didn't expect him to retire this year. Like after
really,
the New England, it was a really like expected. Well, he if you come back and you lose your marriage and you lose all this stuff and you go through all of that stuff to still play football and you still have it, like there's arguments that he should still be MVP this year. Like there's arguments out there that are very valid. He had the all-time leading attempts and all-time leading completions in NFL history and was only like 600 yards away from Patrick Mahomes in yards.
well, he's gonna be number two. Let's be honest. He's gonna be number two.
He'll be number two, but I don't know. Like, but just saying that, but like I didn't. He still obviously can play,
Yeah.
but I get why he did retire, but I didn't expect it. But like last year, I kind of expected it. The year before
Oh
last,
no, yeah, no.
even
Last year,
last year
I
in New
really
England,
thought last year was his last year. I'll say I really thought he
yeah,
was not coming back
I
because
didn't think so
there's
either, just because there wasn't enough for him to come back to.
and there was rumors
But
already that his marriage was failing last year. Cause I remember
yeah,
those rumors, and I'm like, oh man, he's not coming back. And then when he
hmm
retired, I'm like, okay, that's a nail in the coffin. So when he came, I was truly surprised he came back. He's
hmm
not coming back. I think that really did. Like I think he still loves football, but I think
but
him
he'll be close to football still being an analyst,
yeah,
and
he'll be like the next Tony Romo in the booth where he's in every
mhm,
big game is Tom Brady.
yeah,
What I
or
want is
yeah,
a Tom Brady Peyton Manning podcast now. Screw the
you couldn't
Manning
afford.
brothers. Screw the Manning brothers, bro. I want Tom Brady on that
No
panel with
one could
Peyton
afford
Manning.
that.
I don't care. So Amazon,
No one
Amazon,
could afford that.
Amazon. Thursday Night Football. Tom Brady,
Maybe
Peyton Manning every Thursday.
he's got a 10-year deal with Fox.
Oh right, Fox, right, Fox, Fox, Fox.
He's
What
got
is
like either a 7 or 10-year deal.
I think Peyton Manning is ESPN, so I don't think they can actually do that. I think he's
No,
ESPN. But
yeah,
I
but
think 100% we will see eventually a Peyton Manning Tom Brady broadcast. I think that is bound to happen eventually.
oh yeah, some sport or capacity, you'll see it in the even if it's them in their 50s or 60s, and when they're starting to retire and they'll do a Super Bowl or
And
they'll
when
do
Bill
something.
Belichick retires, same thing. I think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are going to do a broadcast together. I think that's
They
one.
don't
I
like
think that's
each
good.
other.
No, 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 no. So I used to believe that, but Bill Belichick. I don't. This is like last year. They were doing the 2010s. Bill Belichick was on a panel with a bunch of other 2010s legends, and he said Eric the Reed. Oh, I can't remember his name. Was it for the Ravens? Reed. Why can't I remember
Hmm.
his name? But he was like gushing about him. He goes, the only guy that I actually felt Tom Brady couldn't beat was Reed on the Ravens, the safety. Him and Ray
Hmm.
Lewis. He said that's the only guy that and he goes, I love Tom, but those are the only
Yeah.
two guys I genuinely feared us losing every game against.
Hmm.
So I think
Um,
Belichick. I think they needed to separate. I think they're good now. I think they needed to walk away from each
I
other.
think they'll be fine once after give them 5 or 10 years after they both retire, and then they'll be fine. I think there's still some animosity there, but not a lot.
Well,
I
Brady
think
won. Brady won that. If they had a
Brady won.
yeah.
Well, I mean, so far, if Bill goes off and wins 2 more with Mac Jones, which isn't going to happen, but if he
No.
does, then
If he wins one though, I think that'd be amazing if he wins one with Mac Jones.
yeah,
I think
I
I think
really want
Belichick's
it.
done after next Super Bowl though. I don't think he's playing for another two. I think his next one he's done because he
Oh
would
yeah,
then
if he wins 1 more, he's 100% done.
because he already has
There's no
nine.
way.
He has 9 Super
I
Bowls.
think he's got 2, 3 more years max just because of his age. Like you just can't physically keep doing that. But yeah, no, Tom Brady is the best. I mean, he's got just short of 90 90,000 yards. He has 649 touchdowns, only 212 interceptions, and he only missed 1 season,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
due to injury. And then the other 4 games that he missed since 2008 was due to Inflategate.
Which literally, again, do I believe it was true? That's not the
100%.
conversation. He was proven innocent by the law, but the
There,
NFL
he was
still
proven that
wanted
there was
the
not enough
NFL.
evidence.
Yeah, the NFL still wanted to suspend him, and then he won the Super
Yeah,
Bowl that year, and Roger Goodell had to hand him the
it was great.
Lombardi.
It was great. I
But
loved it.
Brady's official full stats: his 23 NFL career, 7-time
Hmm.
Super Bowl champion, 5-time MVP,
Yep.
5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time
Yep.
NFL MVP. Not enough.
I
6-time.
think. I think.
Sorry, you're good.
I think he might win it this year. I
I don't think he
really
will.
think
It's
since he
Fitzpatrick.
retired,
It's Patrick.
I,
Mahomes made the Super
I think
Bowl.
he's going to get a lot of vote. I think it's going to be a closer than a lot of people think.
If
Since he
Mahomes didn't make
retired
it to
this
the
year,
Super Bowl, I would agree with you. But Mahomes made it to the Super Bowl.
it's a regular season award.
I know,
But
but you gotta remember
right,
recency bias. Recency bias. Mahomes on a
I'm pretty sure
broken
they
leg.
vote on that
On a
in wild.
broken
Like, I'm pretty
leg.
sure they vote. Yeah.
On a
No, it
broken
was
leg, Mahomes
crazy.
made it, man.
But I think they vote on that in the wild card just so they aren't swayed by the playoffs.
I hope so. I hope
I'm not
so.
mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure I heard something of them having to vote on that in the wild card or like that week,
Yeah.
just so they're not swayed by what the playoffs do.
He was only a 6-time All-Pro, which is shocking to be honest with you. He was only a 6-time All-Pro, 15-time
Well,
Pro Bowler, most touchdowns at 649, like you said, most
mhm,
passing yards ever, 89,000,
yep,
most wins ever. Like
yeah,
I don't think Mahomes is the only guy I think currently in the league who has a chance to
hmm,
beat most yards, most touchdowns, most wins ever. He's
yeah.
the only guy in the NFL right now I think could do it.
Well, in all fairness, in his first 10 years in the league, he only threw for over 4,000 yards 3 times.
I don't care.
So
It don't matter.
I
I think
get
Mahomes is the only
early,
guy. I think Mahomes is the only guy at
early.
this current second on pace to beat him. Josh Allen, we were talking about Josh Allen last week. You already know how I feel about Josh Allen. Josh Allen ain't beating those numbers.
No, he's not going to have the career to do it. He relies too much on his legs. He's going to get
Yep.
hurt too much. We saw what Patrick Mahomes could do last week if he had to stay in the pocket.
Yeah, I'm
And
very excited for Mahomes.
arguably, he was better in the pocket than he is when he's scrambling around and doing other things.
Yeah, I think this
Like
season has
he had
really
a
shown
great
how
game.
good he is. Like,
Yeah.
like Brady won Super Bowls with Julian Edelman as his best wide receiver.
He
Mahomes
had
won. No, no, no. I'm saying receiver, best wide
yeah,
receiver.
receiver, but
Like,
yeah,
like
he had
Travis Kelsey and Gronk are about the same. They're about the
yeah.
same. But wide receiver, he won a Super Bowl multiple times with Julian Edelman as his best guy.
Yeah.
Mahomes might win a Super Bowl this year with Juju Smith-Schuster as his best receiver. He's on
I
pace
think
to
that
beat Brady. If he
I
wins it
think the
with
only
Juju.
guy in the league right now that could surpass Brady's legacy is Mahomes.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if he wins this year, he'll have 2 Super Bowls, more than likely MVPs as well. 2 Super Bowl wins by the time he's 26, or 27, whatever he is. Two of
So
them.
if he plays even till 35, 36,
Every
he's
5
already going
years,
to
he
be,
wins 2 Super
which is
Bowls.
17 games now. They want to push it to 18. So it's just the yards. Brady's record's not untouchable. We've seen multiple quarterbacks get to that level at the 16. It's
Yeah.
going to be close to untouchable just because how long he played. But once they move it to an 18, 19 game season, that's an extra 4, 5, 600 yards each season.
Do you think anyone
That
will ever surpass 100,000 yards in a career? Do you think it'll ever
I
happen?
think the NFL. I think the NFL wants at least 20 games. I think that's what they want, and if we go to that, then yeah, just because how can you not? But if we go to 20 games, do you have an alternate quarterback that plays like two of those games at that point? Because
Well, I think you
that's
have
a
multiple
lot of
bye weeks. I think you have multiple bye weeks.
yeah.
It
I
that
have
that
no idea
that
how
would
you do that.
be that would
I
be the
think it's
that would be there's
possible.
no preseason. There'd be no preseason. I think you have to have at
Yeah,
least 2 or 3 bye weeks if that happens.
but honestly, I don't think so. Just because of the legit, like how long Brady played. He played for 23 seasons. Is that correct?
23-year NFL
That's
career.
I just don't think you can stay healthy for that long,
Yeah,
even in today's NFL.
yeah.
But Brady was just an enigma. He was just had good offensive lines, good running games that really did help him out.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. Drew Brees, if his arm didn't give out, like
Hmm.
he could still be playing. He did not get injured
Yeah.
that much. He did not get injured that much.
No, he
It was
didn't,
really
and he
just
had
his
good coach.
arm.
Yeah,
Like if you
he just.
all we need is a
Yeah.
pocket passer type of quarterback who can
But you've
maintain
seen
an
the
arm.
people. You've seen the people that have been at those numbers.
Mm,
Peyton Manning was the leader there for a hot second. His arm gave out towards the end.
yep.
Breeze was there. His arm gave out in the end. I think Brady looked at that in the offseason this year and was like, you know what? I'm going to retire on my terms. I was second, third in MVP racing this year. I broke records at the age of 45. I had my team in the playoffs. I won my division. It wasn't a Super Bowl year, but I don't think I'm going to get another Super Bowl. I'm going to just go out on my terms instead of
Hmm.
my arm being the reason I go out. Brett Favre couldn't throw it towards the end. Like all these guys that were at the top, once they get there, their arm and shoulders are just shot.
So
They can't throw anymore.
I want to look to them real quick. The 2020,
Yeah.
the 2020, and 2019 to 2020 is what I'm looking for. I want to look at the year that Brady went to the Bucks. I'm gonna ask you a question. Let me
2020
find.
is the year
So,
he went to the
but yeah, it was the 2019 to 2020 season. So it'd be the
Mhm.
2019 to 2020 playoffs, where it was San Fran, Kansas City. So
Yep.
if Tom Brady did not go to the Buccaneers, he went to the 49ers instead. The 49ers are coming off a 31 to 20 loss where they almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mhm.
How many Super Bowls in the next 3 years, which would have been his 3 years career at the Buccaneers, does he win all three, two of them, or just one of them? If he
I
went to
think
the,
two.
you think two of them?
I think they would have won this year. Maybe missed it last year. Because the Rams were just crazy last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then won it the year that he won with
But you got to
Tampa.
remember, the 49ers and Rams met in the championship game and almost beat the Rams. It's because Jimmy
They
Ward
did.
dropped an interception.
I really think the Rams pressure. If you want to know how to beat Tom Brady, it's pressure up the middle.
Yeah.
That's how you beat Tom Brady. It's up in his face, and they had Aaron Donald, the best to ever do it up the middle. So there's arguments. I think Aaron Donald's the best to ever do it up the middle. You can
Yeah,
have
D
three guys
tackle.
on him
Yeah,
and still
I think there's a
find.
good
Yeah,
chance. Yeah,
which
I
is
think it's
crazy.
a
I mean,
discussion.
Suggs, you could argue, and Warren Sapp and some of the others you could really argue over time. But we just our generation definitely the best. So going against Tom Brady, I think the Rams still would have won that game. So I think he would have had two instead of one. But they didn't want him.
Yeah.
It's come out that they did not want that was one of his choices. It was Miami, San Fran, and he was looking at Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay was not the leader in that. They were the third option. But Miami dropped the ball and San Fran said no, so he went to Tampa, which is crazy.
Yeah,
But
I think that was just an interesting question. So, like,
Mhm.
they were coming off a Super Bowl. The 49ers
Yep.
that year came off a Super Bowl loss. Should
Mhm.
like, if they would have actually put the chips all, if they cashed in,
Yep.
they could have had Tom Brady, multiple first round picks,
Yep.
all their guys still. Like I think they could have won. They might have won all three.
And still
I think
could
that
have taken
Rams
a
game.
quarterback. Yeah, they still could have taken a quarterback when they took a quarterback.
Yeah, they could have still
They
traded
probably,
up and gotten Trey
probably
Lance.
still, they probably still could have got Trey Lance.
Yeah,
No one was interested in Trey Lance besides the 49ers.
yeah, like they could have still gotten Trey Lance,
They
and they
could have got Mac Jones, who is Tom Brady, but just a little bit less. and
yeah, like they
it's just
I think in let's say in 10 years, let's say 10 years from now, we're gonna look
mhm.
back at that Trey Lance trade and that offseason, and we're gonna say the 49ers could have won multiple Super Bowls with Tom Brady, but they
It
chose
could have been
Trey Lance.
it could have been another dynasty.
Yeah, it could have been a 3 to 4 year
He
dynasty.
could
Because
have been
I
part of
think
three
I
dynasties.
think he'd still be on the 49ers this upcoming season. Because you have Trent Williams at left tackle. You have a pretty good offensive line. It's not
And
too
here's
bad.
also the argument is like, would his family have fallen apart the same way that it did? Because Giselle wanted to go to California.
And his
She wanted to be
family,
part of New York.
the Brady
Yeah,
family is in San Fran.
yeah. So I think
Interesting.
they made a big mistake by not going after Tom Brady
I completely
because
agree.
Tom wanted to go there. So,
If the
but
greatest of all time wants to come, like, this give you the
they
dumbest thing I'm
wanted
about to
Jimmy
say.
G.
This
That
give you
year they
some.
wanted Jimmy G.
This give you some really dumb I'm about to say. Okay, so that
Yeah.
offseason, there was a report by Mary Kay Cabot, I believe, of the Browns beat writers,
Yeah.
where the Browns were one
hmm
of the teams that Tom Brady was interested in.
The Bears were interested. He was interested in the Bears too.
I do remember that report, but the Browns won. Here's what they said. Imagine a year where Baker sits behind Tom Brady. Baker could
Yeah.
really get into it. And I remember when
hmm
that report came out, I said, "Dear God, no. Dear God, I don't want Tom Brady. I don't want him at this point in his career." Because he was coming off that pick six where the Titans ended his season on a pick six. Like, I
Browns would
remember
have
not
won
wanting
that three.
him.
I think any team he would have went to, Miami, even the Bears, because the Bears, you got to remember that year that they were coming off of, they had that 12-4
Yeah.
season. They had Matt Nagy. I don't think Matt Nagy failed as a Bears coach. I think Ryan Pace failed at quarterback, and we decided to ride it all the way through with Mitchell Trubisky, which was dumb. It was dumb. They chose Mitchell Trubisky over Tom Brady. That's what they did, and it was dumb.
Yeah. But
And the same with you. Like they chose Baker over Tom Brady.
no, no,
like
I'm all good. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Nothing against Tom Brady. I'm happy where we're at right now.
you
Um,
would have a Super Bowl though.
what? No, we were not. No, 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 no. We're not getting into this bat bowl crap.
100% have a
There's
Super
a
Bowl.
reason the Browns were not chosen. We're not winning a Super Bowl with that roster. That following season. It was Kevin Stefanski's first year where we go like 10-6. That was not a Super Bowl roster. That was not a
No.
Super Bowl roster. So like when we lost to the Chiefs in the following offseason, that when we lost to the Chiefs, that was our peak. Was the divisional round, and I'm all
Oh,
good. I'm all good knowing that.
and Tom Brady would have still been on that roster, and you probably arguably would have won that game with Tom Brady.
Nah, I'm sorry. I don't believe that roster was not good enough. Our best receiver was broken down Jarvis Landry, ACL torn Odell Beckham, and DPJ. That was not a Super Bowl roster. So the fact that we got to the divisional round is why I love Kevin Stefanski so much, because
He's a good coach.
he helped us. But
Yeah,
Nick Chubb with Tom Brady is what I would have wanted to see.
I 100% think we would have won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady.
It's good to
Um,
think that.
I 100% think we would have because we had a really good running game. At the time, we had the best defense in the league, hands down. We
One
had
of them,
Khalil
yeah.
Mack. Yeah, it was just we were missing that guy that would have pushed us over the edge. And I think if we wanted to have made the Super Bowl, I think we definitely would have made a run. I think he made the right choice going to Tampa over the Chicago Bears or Browns or any of the other teams. So,
Yeah, but that's
but
that's
I
us
think,
talking.
yeah,
Oh, you good? Finish your thought.
no, yeah, go ahead.
But
I'm done.
yeah, that's Tom Brady retiring. Good
Yep.
riddance. Maybe Patrick Mahomes next. Hopefully, that's the next news that comes out is that he retires.